blood, concrete, chaos. CM Punk just dragged someone through hell backstage and we caught every single brutal second of it. What you're about to witness isn't just another Monday Night Raw moment. This is months of torment, weeks of paranoia, and years of pent-up rage exploding in the most violent way possible. The mystery that's been eating away at the locker room, the attack that left Punk questioning everyone around him, finally has an answer. And brother, that answer came with fists, fury, and absolute carnage. This is the moment CM Punk stopped being the victim and became the executioner. If you bleed wrestling like I do, if you live for these moments when everything comes crashing together, then you need to hit that subscribe button right now because Slam Zone is your home. We're building something special here, a family of people who understand that this isn't just entertainment, this is our passion, our escape, our way of life. So do me a favor, be part of this journey. Hit subscribe, smash that notification bell, and let me know in the comments if you saw this coming because I promise you, what happened tonight changed everything. Let me take you back to where this nightmare began. Weeks ago, CM Punk walked into the arena like he always does, confident, focused, ready to prove why he's still the best in the world. But somewhere between the parking lot and his locker room, his world went black. A vicious attack from behind, brutal and calculated. When Punk came to, he was bloodied, confused, and absolutely furious. The cameras didn't catch the attacker. Security found nothing. It was like a ghost had walked through those hallways and decided to send a message written in violence. From that night forward, Punk became a man possessed. Every corridor became a potential ambush. Every friendly face became a suspect. You could see it in his eyes during his matches, that constant awareness, that edge of paranoia mixed with rage. He'd cut promos demanding answers, calling out anyone who might have the guts to step forward. But week after week, silence. The coward who attacked him stayed in the shadows, and that silence was eating Punk alive from the inside out. The WWE Universe started speculating wildly. Was it an old enemy settling a score? Was it someone new trying to make a name off Punk's reputation? Social media exploded with theories. Some said it was a returning superstar. Others pointed fingers at jealous roster members. The mystery became the hottest storyline in wrestling, and everyone had an opinion. But Punk, he wasn't interested in opinions. He wanted blood. Think about what that does to a man like CM Punk. This is someone who built his entire career on being the smartest guy in the room, the one who sees the angles before they happen, who controls the narrative. But this time, he was the one being controlled. Someone had the power over him, and for a competitor of Punk's caliber, that's worse than any physical pain. His pride was wounded just as badly as his body. The tension built week after week. Punk would storm through backstage areas with cameras following, searching, hunting. You could feel the entire roster walking on eggshells. Nobody wanted to be in the wrong place at the wrong time when Punk finally snapped. And believe me, we all knew it was coming. This wasn't a question of if Punk would get his revenge, it was when and how devastating it would be. Then tonight happened. Raw started like any other episode, but there was electricity in the air. You know that feeling when something massive is about to go down? The entire arena could sense it. Punk arrived early, and instead of his usual routine, he went hunting. Backstage corridors, production areas, catering, nowhere was off limits. The camera crew struggled to keep up as Punk moved with purpose and barely contained fury. And then it happened. In a secluded area near the loading dock, Punk found him, the mystery attacker. The coward who'd been hiding for weeks. I won't spoil the identity just yet because you need to feel the build, the way this moment exploded into existence. The confrontation started with words, accusations thrown like grenades. The attacker tried to justify it, tried to explain with some weak excuse about disrespect or opportunity or jealousy. But Punk wasn't there for explanations. The first punch came so fast the cameras almost missed it. Punk connected with a right hand that echoed through that concrete hallway like a gunshot. The attacker stumbled back, and that's when Punk unleashed absolute hell. These weren't wrestling moves, this was a street fight, this was personal, this was months of frustration and anger poured into every strike. Punk backed him against the wall and just unloaded, fists flying with bad intentions. Security tried to intervene but Punk was a man possessed. He shoved them aside like they were nothing. This wasn't about rules or protocol anymore. This was about justice, about making someone pay for crossing a line that should never have been crossed. The attacker tried to fight back, throwing wild haymakers, but Punk was operating on a different level. Every movement was calculated rage, every strike meant to hurt, to punish, to make a statement that echoed through every locker room in professional wrestling. They crashed through equipment cases, sending cables and tools scattering across the floor. The sound of metal crunching and bodies colliding was brutal and raw. Punk grabbed his attacker by the shirt and slammed him into a concrete pillar, and you could hear the impact, feel the force of it through the screen. This was real emotion, real pain, real consequences playing out in real time. The crowd in the arena could hear the commotion through the backstage monitors, and they erupted. Chants of Punk's name shook the building. They'd been waiting for this moment just as desperately as Punk had. Wrestling is about catharsis, about seeing the hero overcome the villain, and tonight that release was happening in the most visceral way possible. Punk dragged the attacker down the hallway, and with every step you could see the weight of the past weeks falling away. This was therapeutic violence, necessary violence. He wasn't just fighting one person, he was fighting against every doubt, every sleepless night, every moment he'd questioned who he could trust. The attacker tried to crawl away but Punk yanked him back, relentless and unforgiving. They burst through a door into the gorilla position, that sacred space right before the entrance ramp, and suddenly the entire production crew scattered. Punk threw him into the curtain and the struggle spilled out onto the stage in front of thousands of screaming fans. The roar was deafening. This was no longer a backstage assault, this had become a public execution of someone's career and credibility. Listen, if you're feeling this energy, if your heart is racing right now reading this breakdown, then you need to hit that like button. Seriously, it helps this channel grow, it helps me bring you more of these intense moments, these deep dives into what makes wrestling special. Subscribe to Slam Zone, turn on notifications, because we're just getting started. Drop a comment and tell me what you thought about this revenge, whether it went too far or not far enough. Because I want to hear from you. This family we're building here matters to me, and I read every single comment. Back to the absolute chaos unfolding. Punk had his attacker on that stage, and under the bright lights, with the entire world watching, he delivered one final message. The GTS, the go to sleep, the devastating knee strike that has ended so many careers and matches. Punk lifted his attacker onto his shoulders, and you could see the realization in everyone's eyes. This was it, the exclamation point on revenge. The crowd counted down like it was New Year's Eve. 3, 2, 1. The knee connected with sickening precision, and the attacker crumpled to the stage like a puppet with cut strings. Punk stood over him, chest heaving, knuckles bloodied, eyes wild with satisfaction and exhaustion. This wasn't a wrestling moment anymore, this was a primal display of dominance and retribution. Punk grabbed a microphone from a nearby stagehand, and his voice, raw and hoarse, cut through the arena. He talked about trust, about respect, about the consequences of trying to take him down. Every word dripped with emotion, with authenticity that you can't script or fake. This was CM Punk at his most real, most vulnerable, most dangerous. He'd been violated, hunted in his own workplace, and now he'd taken back his power in the most public and brutal way imaginable. The WWE officials finally swarmed the stage, creating a barrier between Punk and his fallen attacker. But it didn't matter anymore. The message had been sent. The mystery was solved. The debt was paid in full with interest. Punk walked back through the curtain, and even in victory, you could see the toll this had taken on him. Revenge is sweet, but it's also exhausting, especially when you've been carrying that weight for so long. What makes this moment so powerful isn't just the violence or the shock value. It's the storytelling, the emotional journey we've all been on with Punk. We felt his frustration during those weeks of uncertainty. We understood his paranoia, his rage, his need for answers. And when he finally got those answers, when he finally got his hands on the person responsible, we felt that catharsis with him. That's what great wrestling does, it makes you feel something real, something deep. This moment will be replayed for years. It'll be in highlight packages, in documentary retrospectives, in debates about the greatest revenge angles in wrestling history. Because this wasn't just good, this was perfect. The build was patient, the execution was brutal, and the payoff was absolutely satisfying. Punk reminded everyone why he's one of the greatest storytellers in this business, why his name carries weight, why you don't cross him without expecting consequences. The fallout from this is going to be massive. What kind of suspension or punishment will Punk face? Will this attacker seek their own revenge? How does this change the landscape of Raw going forward? These are the questions that keep wrestling compelling, that keep us coming back week after week, moment after moment. Before I wrap this up, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being here, for watching, for caring about this business as much as I do. Slam Zone exists because of you, because there are people out there who want deeper analysis, emotional breakdowns, and passionate discussions about what happens in that ring and backstage. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do it now. Hit that bell so you never miss a moment. Share this video with your wrestling friends because these conversations matter, these moments matter. This is what we live for as wrestling fans. Not the predictable outcomes or the safe storylines, but these explosive, emotional, can't-look-away moments that remind us why we fell in love with this business in the first place. CM Punk just delivered one of those moments. He took pain, transformed it into purpose, and gave us a masterclass in revenge storytelling. The best in the world just proved once again why that's not just a catchphrase, it's a fact. The mystery is solved, the attacker has been destroyed, and CM Punk walks forward knowing that justice has been served. This is wrestling at its finest, this is storytelling that grabs you by the throat and doesn't let go, this is why we're here. Thank you for joining me on Slam Zone. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button one more time, and I'll see you in the next breakdown. Until then, stay passionate, stay loud, and never forget that this is where legends are made and monsters are born.